I've never had a problem projecting my voice, so I hope everyone can hear me. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone who made it here from family. The outpouring of support is amazing, but namely to the brothers that have traveled so far to make this happen. These things they're sudden, they're tragic, and they bring us together in ways that I think what we've done today is show to the family what we're able to do through our brotherhood and our bond and the love that we have for each other. My name is Chad Wooten, and I served with ECHO. I was a section leader for them. I did not deploy with these amazing Marines that went down range to Afghanistan, not just once, but twice. I have been honored to be able to stand up and assist in the support that these men need so that we can hopefully prevent another tragedy. Getting out of the Marine Corps is the hardest thing I've ever done. I spent 10 and a half years in as an infantryman in amazing battalions with amazing men. I was fortunate enough to come over to 3rd Battalion, 6th Marine, Teufelhunden, as someone who was coming off of 3 deployments, but not to the places that these men went and fought in. The thing that they did in Afghanistan is literally written in the ledgers of the Marine Corps history books now. The men that went to Marja are known from our generation as the hardest men that we could have hoped for. Before them was I think it's important for everyone who hasn't ever served to understand that every one of us joined in a time of war. We all joined after September 11th. It doesn't mean that that was what drew us there, but we all felt a greater call to serve our country. And I think that that's the most important thing as we look at these guys. Not only did they have the bravery as young men, 18 years old, to raise their right hand and write a blank check to the United States of America with their lives on that line. I think that that is something that should be commended. They are part of a percentage of people that are not only willing to do it, but are then taken up to the illustrious level of being an infantryman in the Marine Corps. Out of 200,000 Marines, between 18 and 30,000 at any given time is an infantryman. Now we dial that down and we've got to understand who ECHO was. ECHO was an 0352, that's a tow gunner, missileman, okay? There are less tow gunners in the Marine Corps than there are snipers in the Marine Corps. And if you know about snipers in the Marine Corps, it's a very small band. These guys, filled with missilemen and machine gunners, they answered the call, they stepped up, and their job in country wasn't to just go toe-to-toe with the enemy, it was to find a way to help their brothers. We were the quick reaction force that would show up when someone else was wounded with big assets so that we could stabilize the battle space and get those casualties out. They saw more wounded than it transported through them so they could set up security for helicopters to fly out than most line companies would in the Marine Corps, okay? Inside of 3-6, inside of Operation Masharak, which is a huge operation that occurred in that 2009, 2010 timeframe. And then not only did they go once, but they came back, and 6 months later they were thrown right back into Marja. The Marines that went on Marja too, they learned from the guys that had been downrange once what it meant to be a warfighter, how to stay safe and stay alive by listening to their tutelage. It's not easy. We're very hard on each other because life and death is a daily mission. These men that have stood up today have gotten out of the Corps, and while they fought in Marja, it might have been very difficult. They had each other by their sides. We no longer have each other geographically located next to us. We are at a distance. But what we've seen today is how a group of men is willing to muster under something, regardless of what it is, they're willing to step out for one individual. Our problem is selflessness. It means that when we get out, sometimes we lose relationships, we lose jobs, all because one person called and said, "Brother, I need help." And they stop everything they're doing and they make the move to come and celebrate as we are today, to support, to open their doors, to allow someone who's in a rough place across the country to move into their home with a whole family that they may have, just so that they can make sure that that person is not suffering alone. We're all suffering alone. Every one of us nowadays, in our own places, has found a new niche. We've all found a way that we're succeeding, we're making money, we're living. But we're no longer living the way that we used to. A way where every day we woke up and knew that regardless of how bad it was, I had a guy to my left or my right. physically, the guy to my left or my right, physically, mentally, emotionally. The emotional toll of transition out of the Corps is one of the hardest things. And as someone, I work for a veteran nonprofit in South Carolina, and I can tell you that the Marine Corps has the hardest time adjusting. I help veterans transition, and it's a very difficult thing. I think that one of the most beautiful things that we've been able to see is the strength of Pam, this family, and you all coming together in this area. And I think the most beautiful thing that my brothers, if I could speak for us, could have given to you today is our showing of support by physically being here. Pam has been steadfast. She shows me the strength that she carries is exactly why we had the person that we had downrange at Galano. She hasn't faltered once. She's never shown any emotion. Just like many people who spoke today talk about Echo giving nothing but selfless service to others. She wanted to make sure you all were good at all times. She was worried about you guys. And you guys showed up to show her the love in return. And you worried about you. We have traditions in the Marine Corps that run very deep. 3-6 has French Forget, which if you go home and look it up, it comes from the Battle of Belleau Wood back in World War I, because they broke through the Maginot Line with 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. It is a battalion that has battle colors that other battalions wish they had, because of men that are willing to stand up like Ecolano. And we have to remember the families that are willing to support us as service members. What the Marines have done today is put together something for the family, and I want that to be shared, and I want y'all to understand a little bit of the legacy. Andrew, where you at?
Bremser. Where's Bremser?
So, Andrew was with Echo, and we, within 3 hours of finding out, we call it post-incident, of the tragic loss of Rob, we had a group chat that was started that gained momentum every day. It put more men together to talk about whether they were hurting, how we could get together, sharing rides, helping out financially, getting hotel rooms, setting up Airbnbs, doing everything we could so that the family didn't have to worry about the Marines, because we got this. We want y'all to know that we've got you too. And what the Marines have done is bring small tokens of mementos that they had with Echo, whether it's the machine gun pistol grip that he carried on his first and second deployment,
Yep.
or the French Forget, or the medals that we were able to get taken care of in a very fast manner. The way that the men stepped up is something I commend every one of you. It's something that touched me so much, I felt like I needed to reach out and do something more for these guys, all right? And what we were able to make in about 3 days, per Pam's request, was something in lieu of flowers. What charity can we help out? How can we make something that makes a difference to prevent something like this in the future? I was able to get connected with the Independence Fund, and what we've got is a trip that's going to go to the Marines that were on Echo's deployment, so that they can all get together, they can all break bread, and they can spend 3-4 days out at some place, literally anywhere in the U.S. that they pick. They could go to Austin, they could go wherever, probably not Vegas, that might not be good. But a place where they can really grow, and they can have support, and they can support each other. I think that the group chat that we have today is going to have a lasting memory, but it's also going to live on. We're all going to be able to, if someone's having a rough time, roger up and say, hey, I got this, let me make that phone call. Hey, I got this, let me drive out to check on them. Hey, I've got this, you're not by yourself anymore. That is the key that we have to take away. And when we work with the Independence Fund, any donations that go towards it are going to support a direct fund that's going to take these guys to their location, all expenses paid, all the chows paid for in a resort somewhere, so that they can have time to bond and put away some of the demons that we all come home from battle with. I think it's imperative that we know that we have a very special breed of men that went and put blood, sweat, and tears downrange for their country, for a flag, for their brothers. And today I'm very honored to know that Andrew was able to make this not only box, because the flag was going to be presented today by the Honor Guard, which did a wonderful job, And this is something that she's going to be able to take home with that was made by one of our brothers because he wanted to stand up and do something. He also made this box. This box has in it Robert's war medals.
Aww.
Everything that he did that the Marine Corps gave him a medal or a ribbon for is going to be honored through what we have here that they'll be able to keep. So they know and they can look at it and be reminded the man that they had and the brothers that loved him every time they open this box. And that's what you guys did. So I'm very proud of every one of you. What I would like to do, there's been someone has brought out a toast. In Marine Corps tradition, we toast a shot of Jameson to our fallen brothers. There are folks here that are currently not drinking, and that's okay. Grab whatever glass you have. Please join us in a toast.
So everybody, I'd like you to raise your glass. I'm going to leave you with one quote. I'll keep it short and sweet. That's how Robbie would have wanted it. Echo, as we all knew him. There's a book that I read called Tuesdays with Maury. And in the book, Mitch Albom, the author, says, "Death ends a life, not a relationship." Stay connected with everybody that's here today. Death ends a life, not a relationship. To Robbie.
That was a great book. You're right.
If anybody would like to take this time to share a story, man. The family, Robbie was pretty quiet. He didn't talk about it. He was very humble. He's a true warfighter. That's what real warfighters do. They don't talk about it. They come home and they say, "No, I'm okay, I'm okay." I urge every one of you, if you're not okay, take my phone number down today. Make sure that you stay on the group chat. Make sure that we support each other, because this doesn't end today. This just starts a bigger movement. I'm proud and I love every one of you. I'm thankful that I got to serve with men of your caliber and learn the things that I learned from you all. It truly was a pleasure. I want to open up the floor though to anybody that would share a story or something to add.
So I have this for the family. So Echo and I went to boot camp together. We were in the same platoon. We went to school of infantry together. Went to a 3-6 together. And the good thing about Echo and I is the fact that we both live in Montgomery County. So we actually carpooled together throughout 2009 and 2010, 2011. We were together all the
Boys
time.
don't say anything.
So
You never told me that.
yeah. So we were very close. Even though I wasn't leaving company, he wasn't weapons. But we lived together. We were there all the time. So there's a story, and I'm not the only guy here. There's Lancer, a couple guys that are here too, that were also with Echo in boot camp. So real quick, I'm going to share a story of Echo in boot camp. Echo used to walk like this all the time. Even during our drill sessions. But guess what? Even the drill instructors were kind of scared of Echo. So, most of the time, he never got corrected. The only time he kind of got in trouble was when the drill instructor, Sergeant Dykus, asked Echo to get dumbbells.
Oh, Dykus, I remember him.
So yeah, so Dykus was the scariest guy on Parasite. So he asked Echo to get dumbbells, and Echo was like, "Dumbbells? I don't know what dumbbells are." And Dykus lost his mind, and Echo got in trouble. But guess what? Even though he got in trouble, somehow we ended up together. We were lifting weights because that day was Black Flag, and we couldn't go on the parade day, so we had to stay indoors. So next thing you know, we were together working out. But Echo was a guy that gave 100% every day. And he was so fearless that the GIs were terrified of him. They never approached him. Because every day he walked around like a pit bull. Just ready to fight. So, not just that, but the fact that we drove countless hours together. I learned to be fearless just like him. So even though it is sad what happened, but I was in the same shoes. I was talking to one of my friends there. You could have just taken off his picture and put my picture because I was there. I almost committed suicide 4 years ago, and I was there. And I'm not the only guy. There are a lot of us who have actually did it, but there are a lot of people here who are thinking about it now or who are thinking about it. So when I heard about that, it broke my heart because of all the time we spent together. So I'm going to cut this short. This is just a little token that I have for you and the family. I have 2 coins here, and this is from our second martial deployment. So I have 2 of these here, and I also have this Marine Corps coin that has all the ranks for that are listed in the Marine Corps. So I just want to present this to the family.
Stories?
Is Dykus here? Is he here? He's from
All right.
So when I showed up to the fleet, Echo was, I don't know, Booner, how many? Like a couple months ahead of us. You guys did the whole workup. You guys were way ahead of us, but he never acted like that. He never treated us like a boot. He never treated us like someone that was below him. He treated us as an equal. And it's something to be said at the time when everybody hates you. It's a hard time, and Echo never acted like that. Echo never treated you lower than anybody else. And we went through the whole first deployment together, and he's somebody that I would honestly walk right back there with. He's the dude that will knock down the door, rip a saw, and just chill after, and never ask a question about it. And after our first deployment, we were picking rooms, and we're coming down the last couple days, and everybody was asking everybody who's rooming with who, and I didn't have anybody, and I ended up rooming with Echo at the time, and I was like, sorry for my language, but fuck, Echo's scary. I was like, I don't know if I want to room with Echo. This might tear your head off and throw you off the balcony, and you might never be seen again. And this is the kid that also on the weekends volunteered for fucking trash pickup on the back gate, picking up bottles and trash cans and stuff, because that's what they did. And I remember to this day, I'll never forget this. I woke up in the middle of the night. We were living together at the time. This is the time when young kids drink absurdly. And I woke up in the middle of the night. The lights were off, and I looked down in the corner, and there's a red light. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm reading a book. But he's reading a book with his headlamp on. I was like, you can turn the lights on, Echo. Like you can read a book. Like I'm passed out. Like I'm sleeping. You can read a book. No, I don't want to disturb you.
Oh, I see.
And I'm like, Echo, you're not going to disturb me if you turn the lights on. You can read the book. No, I'm good. And he would just sit there and read the book. And that's Echo. To this day, I'll never forget that that's the kid that he would give everything to make you happy. But he's also the same kid that rips the saw and like covers you when you run through the wall, you know? And that's a hard balance. There's not a lot of people out there in this world, this day, that you can put that two nomenclatures on, that can be, have a heart, and still be that warfighter, that true warrior. And that's who he was. And it kills me to this day that he hurt bad, but I'm glad we're all here, and I'm glad we can all tell these stories. And I don't know. I hope everybody takes something from this.
Anyone else? All right, there we go.
They got it all about their stories.
I just told this story to Pam.
Yeah.
But
Okay, they tell it again.
So Echo and I were boots together. So I came obviously from the West Coast, and Echo was an East Coast Marine. So like we didn't know each other in boot camp or SOI or anything like that, but we were both boot drops, and we were both terrible at hiding from senior guys looking for guys to do a working party. It seemed like every freaking working party, oh, Echo and Kluver, here we go. So then we were the ones that were, picking up whatever, or cleaning out whatever. And, I mean, we were always just stuck on the same working party, it seemed like. And here he was, never was complaining, never was pissed off, just did his thing. And having that was contagious. Where it was just like, okay, this isn't that bad. Like we do this for about 5 hours and we get to go eat chow, right? So, all right, fine. But just that demeanor, he was just fun to be around. Scary as hell though, like I'll agree with that. Like so I got matched up with him in McMap, and I swear to God, I thought he broke my neck. Swear to God, but obviously he didn't. But then we go on deployment. And obviously, like, we had known each other through all the working parties, through everything else. And we're on deployment, and he sees me smoking. We're on some op together that was done, and he sees me smoking. He goes, Kluver, I didn't know you smoked. I'm like, I don't. I ran out of dip about a month ago. And if any of you know, like, from what we were doing, we didn't get care package very often. So anything from home, like, everything was sacred. And dip, you could have sold a can of dip for $100,000, and it would have gone. Like somebody would have sold their firstborn for a can of dip. But so Echo sees me and he goes, "Hey, here," and he hands me his can. I'm like, "You have more of this?" "No, this is my last can." But it was half empty. But he was still willing to give me something out of it. I mean, he would give you whatever he could. He'd give me the shirt off his back. I mean, I think that's why we're all here, and that's why we all loved him. I didn't spend a whole lot of ops with him. I didn't spend as much time as these guys did with Kat, but can't help but love the guy. So, thank you.
A can of dip, or Flugenflagen as we call it, overseas to the box. So, is there anyone else that would like to share? Because I've got a family member that would like to say something.
To the Marines and to the family, I just want to share a few words of something that I believe you will all appreciate.
Marine Corps voice.
I married into the family and was transferred to Washington with the United States Secret Service in 2003 and met an amazing family, to include your son and your wife. Of course, my wife. On the night that Robbie took his life and moved on to a new life, I asked about him because he was a special person in my heart the moment I met him. And I was very concerned today when I was coming to this funeral, because I don't believe in going to a party unless, to a funeral unless you were part of the party. And I was very concerned about how this young man was going to be honored. I was very concerned, gentlemen, because he was a Marine and I wanted to make sure that he was recognized as a Marine. So I had 2 flags flown over the Capitol, which are in my car. And my wife will tell you, I don't really talk a lot when I'm upset. And I was worried that I had to get back into that car to pull out one of those flags and drape it over his coffin. And when I saw the United States Marines, because I can see them from afar, because you gentlemen know that you serve the president well, so I know who Marines are, I was relieved that I knew that he was going to be honored correctly. I salute you, gentlemen. Although Army, I salute the United States Marines.
All right, guys, I'd just like to close with something for the family. Thank you all for being here to support. I'm so proud that you got to see what we do. I mean that. To the Marines, we all had our cliques. We all had our bands that we ran with. We all had the people that we loathed being around every day. But I'm going to tell you that the people, I call it, okay, all right. In the Marine Corps, for you civilians, what you need to understand is that if you get hit by a nuclear, biological, or chemical attack, you've got to have what coal miners used to call a canary, which was the person that would break the seal first after we were called all clear, just to make sure it was good. And then that way it was one instead of all. So I was telling a story to a gentleman the other day down in South Carolina, and I was saying, you know, because he was asking me what bothered me about working with civilians, and what bothered me about, and I'm not knocking y'all, I really am not. Y'all seem like upstanding. Some of the people that I'm around, you know, it's truly like what we have to realize every day is that we stood up to fight for every American, okay? Regardless of their intentions, their genders, their races, their creeds, it doesn't matter. We stood up to fight for all of them. Whether they love us or not, we did. And we get to walk with a proud, chin up high, bold chest for it. These Marines, the way that they have come together, the way that they have stood up, as I said, from beginning to end is above reproach. And these guys are part of the top tier of guys. And when I talk about that canary, even my worst guy that I knew I was going to sacrifice if I had to have him break a seal, that person is still like in the top 50 percentile of some of the civilians that I have to work around. So take that and then talk about the tow gunners and the things that I was talking about with the smallest percentile. That's why I'm so proud to have worked with these guys, not just for the blood, sweat, and tears that they poured out while in country, but truly for everything you did as Americans, as patriots. I want to be frank with you. Since I've gotten out, it's been horrible. I've depression, anxiety, all kinds of ups and downs. It is not weak to feel sad. It's not weak to cry. It's not weak to feel alone. What is weak is not reaching out, okay? If you're feeling a moment of weakness, I need you all to please reach out. Everyone in this room that has stood up and driven, flown, made their effort to be here is willing to stand there side by side with you, even if it's from afar. We may not be in close proximity anymore, but we're fighting a new battle, and that's called transition, and it's hard, guys. It's freaking hard, all right? The Independence Fund and the Robbie Ecolano, Operation Masharak Memorial Reunion is going to be amazing, and it's going to be a great way to let these guys kind of put some of those demons away. But for everyone, I want to thank the family. I want to thank you all, and mostly I want to just say, Ecolano, I love you. Energy doesn't die. It doesn't matter where we're going, who your higher power is. Energy doesn't die, and Robbie's energy was something that is unmatchable. We're going to see him, whether it's in Valhalla, whether it's in heaven, wherever it may be. He's going to have a very special place where we're all going to be reunited one day. So I thank you all.
Those that watched Robbie, whoever saw, those that called Bobby Drizzle. Cheers, you, bro.
Excuse me, while we still have everybody here together, I just wanted to recognize all the work Chad has done. I'm sure Pam can agree. He's done an immense amount of work. He would call me up, the amount of stress, feeling that he would share with me. He's put in countless hours to get everybody here and get everything and give you guys the best representation of how much love we had for Equilano. So I just want everybody to give Chad a round.
You as well, Bill.
Carry on, everyone.
Smoking lamp is lit.
Right.